Good morning. My name is Fitzgerald Gatson, and I'm coming to you from Blythewood, South Carolina. As I watch the ongoings of the situation regarding the protesters and riots in Baltimore as a result of Freddie Gray's death, it brings to mind a situation that occurred 20 years ago called a Million Man March. And we, as black men, under the guidance of Minister Louis Farrakhan, organized and, of course, landed in Washington and proceeded to have a very credible and organized event. But the reason why I'm talking to you, Facebook Nation, is this. It's time for us as black men to come together and stand up. It does not matter if you are part of a fraternity or Masonic order, the 100 black men, whether you're part of the BE 100s, or if you just work for the city down in the manhole trying to make sure that the water or the street lights stay on. The problem we have right now is that we have children leading the way, and that's the tail wagging the dog. That can't happen. We have Ray Lewis making a plea from his perspective to quell some of the activities that are going on. We have Pastor Jamal Harrison Bryant organizing at his level and doing the things that he's been called to do from the pulpit. However, speaking as a man who has been a husband, a father, son, uncle, nephew, it's incumbent upon me and other black men to say enough is enough. We have to come together, gentlemen, and I'm calling for 1 million men to respond to this video and us take back the city in an organized fashion. And what I mean by that is simply this. There's enough economic power and brain power across this country that we can come and converge with those there in Baltimore and show them a construct whereby we lead by example. It could be as simple as some general contractors getting together and rebuilding or redefining or gentrifying the areas that have been destroyed by virtue of the riots. It could be a group of educators, black men who teach, coming together, those who are from HBCUs or high schools or technical colleges coming through and formulating a team that teaches kids an outlet to violence. It could be some sociology professionals who do studies on a national basis that come into Baltimore as tactical negotiators from both sides of the spectrum, talking to those who have created the cause and effect situation that we know it as the riot, but also can create an outlet. There are eons of professional and non-professional men of color who have depth of information, knowledge, and wealth where we can converge and bring together a new paradigm, thereby us taking control of the situation ourselves and stop saying, as long as it's not in my backyard, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, because anytime a child looks like you or your child, it's incumbent upon you to take that responsibility to do what needs to be done. Now, I, as a man of color, African American, am taking it upon myself to issue the challenge to all the men across the country who have influence, be you a father, or uncle, a frat man, a Masonic brother, an entrepreneur, a CEO, a record label executive, a wannabe hardcore gangster rapper, whatever influence you may have, it's time for us to come together. And I want to have 1 million men of responsibility to come with me and lead the way to Baltimore, and we constructively rebuild this deconstructed situation and let it be an example of what we can replicate in Ferguson, in Jacksonville, in Houston, in Chicago, so forth and so on, where all of these multiple deaths, even in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I also live, and in Columbia, South Carolina, and in Charleston, North Charleston, South Carolina, where we had the Walter Scott situation. We have to come together, gentlemen, and lead by example, being the example. We've got to stop preaching the word and living the word. It's enough pastors out here with private jets that can converge and come together, and we can manifest change in such a way that it's never been done before. I'm not going to call anybody out. You have the ultimate responsibility upon yourselves to do what's right. Now, what I'm saying is this. There are going to be some of you who are going to say, well, who is this guy? You're going to want to vet my pedigree. Well, I'm going to tell you up front. For one, I am a college dropout. I attended both Winthrop University and Morehouse College. I graduated from neither. But the information and education that I did garner and the people that I interacted with allowed me to create an understanding of business and how to build relationships that goes without having a piece of lambskin, not negating education or the quality thereof. What I'm saying is I understand how to play my position. So before you go to try to denigrate my situation, understand something. At one point in time, I was this guy, 143-97-171. But I'm also this guy, Fitzgerald Gatson, license holder, and I'm also this guy, registered voter. And so what I'm saying is, as a professional, as a businessman, as a former husband, as a father, as a convicted felon, as a second chance man, I understand all aspects of what these people are dealing with in Baltimore and beyond. There has to be a cause and effect. People don't riot for nothing. I'm not saying that the riots are right. What I am saying is that for us who are in position to formulate, create, and implement change, the onus is on us to make this happen. We need to be able to stop all the placating and rabble-rousing and come together with some concrete implementation. In other words, A and B equals C. Put it on the table. We're going to build these houses. We're going to rebuild these businesses. We're going to invest this amount of money. We're going to construct this kind of technology. We're going to look at the number of kids that are dropping out, why they're dropping out. We're going to quit placating the situation and start putting in real instrumental change, identifying those factors that need to be done, and put together the people that can make this happen on a day-to-day basis and make 365 days from now a year of progress instead of a year of speculation, judgment, criticism, and all the other adjectives that you want to use to describe a situation that's occurring, and it multiplies itself every time a young black man loses his life at the hands of the police. Now, for all of you out there who understand but are afraid to step up because you live in a certain zip code, because you belong to a certain country club, or because you feel like, well, I'm bigger than the problem, the next time you're driving your Bentley or your Double R or your F430, whatever, and you get pulled over, don't look up and go, woe is me, because now is the time to stand up, put the toys aside, put the zip code and the golf club membership aside, put the private jets where they are, and let's go into Baltimore and make Baltimore an example of what revision, recreation, and what we can do as men collectively, an example of what can be brought together based on triumphs, as opposed to it just being another example of tragedy. Now, for those of you who want to get in touch with me, you can reach me directly. My email address is my first name, Fitzgerald, capital Fitzgerald, 81765 @gmail.com. If you want to call me, you can call me directly on my South Carolina business line, 803-602-4969. Ring it off the hook. Call Steve Harvey. Tell him to interview me. I'm good. He's doing all he can do with his 9 million listeners. Michael Basin's doing what he can do. Ricky Smiley's doing what he can do. D.L. Hewlett is doing what he can do. Everybody's got a syndicated show. They're doing their part. But for the rest of us, we have to man up and do our part and come together from the ground up, because a tree is only as strong as the root that is supplied. And the root gives the nourishment and the nutrients to the rest of the tree branches, no matter how high or how strong or how long that tree extends. It's the root system that feeds everything it needs on a day-to-day basis. So, gentlemen, for those of you who don't know me, come and get to know me. Call me. I want 1 million men. In other words, we're going to call this the 1 Million Men Facebook Challenge and empower every man who wants to be part of this empowerment. I'm not making it color specific. I'm saying enough is enough. Ain't no need to hide behind Twitter. Ain't no need to hide behind Instagram. Only reason I'm coming from Facebook is because I'm using the power of social media to manifest the collective understanding that a lot of you may have, but because we don't have a broad-based platform, i.e. a measure of communication where we can collectively come together that doesn't exist outside of us, this is the medium that's available to me at this point in time. I'll be glad for us to come together, sit down at a table, be it from Chicago, New York, DC, Atlanta, Miami, Dallas, Houston, LA. We can all come together, gentlemen, and we can mandate change. And we don't have to wait on somebody to manifest themselves. It's time for us to lead ourselves. We have enough men who are of merit and success that can make the call each and every day when there are no cameras, when there are no newspapers, when nobody's looking. And that's when your character and your integrity is at its best. I'm calling out all my Morehouse men. I'm calling all men of the square and any other men of fraternal organizations across the country that want to lead. It's time to stand up and lead and not be led. So with that, gentlemen, I'm going to bid you adieu, and I'm looking to hear from you. Peace.